Welcome back to Afternoon Live. We can all recognize the physical clutter in our home, but our next guest says there are 5 types of clutter that contribute to feeling overwhelmed. Here to help us identify all the types and figure out what to do about it, we welcome back professional organizer Sarah Larsen. It's great to see you.
You too. Thank you.
You have some great ideas for us for the physical and non-physical clutter today. We're going to kind of tackle a lot of different things.
There's so many other types of clutter that people don't really think about because it's just part of our daily lives and our daily habits. And so it is good to identify them, and I'm going to teach you strategies on how to let them go so that you can move forward in your life and feel more balanced and confident.
So the physical clutter is kind of the easy place to start, right? Because we can just see that stuff.
Yeah, it's all the piles of things that are all over the kitchen or in your front entryway, books, toys, papers. And the easiest way to let go of all of the physical clutter is to pick an area that's really small, because a lot of people want to go immediately for the garage or the spare room or that giant space. And my recommendation is always to start with a drawer or a cupboard and then work your way up to those more challenging areas.
Okay.
And when you get stuck, sometimes people get stuck and they don't know how to let go of things. So I always recommend asking yourself a series of questions.
Okay.
And the first one is, do I like this item? Do I need it? Do I use it? And if the answer is no, then you can just let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah. And then you can kind of think about, is it an item that needs to go in the garbage, or is it something that you want to recycle? Is it something that you can donate to someone else? And if it is, then make sure it leaves your home.
There you go. There's a lot of good stuff that we maybe hold on to that we don't need to, that could really be serving someone else or their family in a much more useful way.
Definitely.
Okay, what about the mental clutter? What kind of makes up that category?
Yeah, mental clutter, I like to define that as all the things that are swirling around in your head all the time. So the to-do list, all of your responsibilities, if you're a parent or not, and then all of the daily tasks that you have to do every day. And the easiest way to let go of all of those things is to get it out of your head.
Okay.
So that it's no longer swirling, and you can do, I like to call it a brain dump. You can dump all the contents either on paper or on a digital device, whatever works best for your personality. And that way you can really see it and prioritize what is the most important thing, because not everything up here is important.
That's true.
And when you see it, then you can put it in order. And it also allows you to realize how much stuff you do every day. And then you can set boundaries and say no to people if they ask you to do things that feel like they are beyond what you have time for.
It's okay to say no sometimes.
It's
really hard. I get it too. But do you find also that people kind of let things swirl around that aren't super important, and then once they have their priorities ranked, they can go, wow, I was wasting a lot of energy focused on this one teeny tiny part of my day?
Definitely. And you can be so much more productive and efficient and less overwhelmed, and then you have more time to do fun stuff that you want to do.
There you go. Okay, I'll buy into that. Okay, how about the emotional clutter? What does that look like?
So emotional clutter are things like unresolved relationships or toxic relationships. It can also be unresolved grief and negative thoughts about yourself, just things that really they take a toll on you. And it's important to start by writing those down again. That's my number one strategy, is just to start getting it out of your head and start writing down, so that way you're aware if it's a person or a thing, what is affecting you emotionally. And then you can choose, let's say it's a coworker who is always negative and it's hard for you to be around that person. You can start to distance yourself from that relationship. Or if you're having a challenging time with a family member, again, you can start, in a respectful way.
Sure.
You don't need to announce that I'm decluttering you from my life.
If it was only so simple.
But you can just start distancing yourself and protecting yourself in that way. And then because this is emotional, sometimes you need to talk with a friend or a family member or a counselor. That's a really good way to turn and face the emotions that are popping up, and not just sweep them under a rug and keep trudging forward.
Yeah, and there's no shame in that. There are so many people waiting to help us all the time. We just have to have the courage to ask every once in a while. Okay, financial clutter. That probably feels really overwhelming to a lot of us.
Yes, and so finances are one of the main reasons that people separate from their partner is they fight over it. It's such a big area, and that can be things like debt and unpaid bills, taxes. And so a lot of people don't want to turn and face that and look at it because they don't want to have to deal with it. And again, my favorite thing is to get it out of your head. So putting all of your expenses and all of the income and start to create a budget. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can just be using an Excel spreadsheet or literally a pen and paper, or there's lots of budgeting apps. That's what I use personally, but that will help you to understand, where your money is going and how you can pay down debt.
Yeah. You got to face it. It's not going to go away just because you're ignoring it.
It's not going to go away.
Unfortunately, again, if only it were so simple. Okay, digital clutter. I imagine a lot of us are dealing with all kinds of digital clutter. Maybe we don't even know that we're hiding away somewhere.
Exactly. This is the one that people don't really think about, but it's all those unwanted emails that you get and all of the targeted ads on social media. We're just bombarded with all this digital clutter all the time. And one of the ways that you can easily get rid of it is just taking 5 minutes a day or 1 minute a day and just going through your email inbox and unsubscribing from 5 emails.
Yeah.
That's what I do every day. If it's something, I open it, just scroll to the bottom, hit unsubscribe, and that way you don't have to spend a whole day or a whole weekend doing it. You can just do a little bit at a time so it's not overwhelming.
And it probably feels really good. A couple weeks later, you'll start seeing the results and go, wow, I'm not kind of trudging through all of this junk to get to the emails I actually want to see.
Definitely.
Okay, what about all those photos and videos? How do we organize those in a way where we can actually manage it?
Yeah, my favorite way to declutter those is when I'm flying on a plane.
Okay.
Because you're stuck anyway.
Yeah.
And so it can be fun to reminisce and look through all your photos and videos and really start to get rid of it. And then as you figure out what you still have left, most of the time on the left-hand side of any software that you're using, you can start to create albums and label the album, so you can do family or vacation, or if you're somebody who likes to do it chronologically, you can start to organize it by month or year or event, whatever makes the most sense, but starting to scoot those pictures into actual files will help you.
We've got every category covered.
Yes.
We can do this little by little, not all at once.
Exactly.
All right. Hey, thank you so much. Great to see you.
You too.
Okay, we'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.